Good. Recording got started. Grand welcome to all of you. My name is Lakshmi. I have 25 years of experience in IT. I'm currently working as a director for my company, Hands On Agile Coaching. It's an Australian based company, a $1 million company I'm driving, and we are experts at providing hands on trainings, which means that whatever the activities that you do after getting the job, you will be doing as part of our trainings. That's the beauty. So it's going to be completely practical and job oriented kind of a trainings. So that's what really making our students get a real good confidence with the skills and secure good offers. And we also provide the CV, LinkedIn, and other support as well. Right. Good. Along with me, we have another trainer. His name is Vamshi. He's currently working as an AI scientist in Microsoft, and he's a bundle of knowledge. So you will experience it. And he's going to here today help us with the concept of Azure Data Engineering. So data is everywhere. Every company is heavily relying on the data because without data, they cannot make any decision. Every company nowadays, they are making data-driven decisions. So they want to understand the data. They want to analyze the data. They want to see where the sales are going down, where we are doing good, and so that they can take the data-driven decisions. Very important. Even nowadays, we have seen the exponential rise of artificial intelligence, business intelligence. For all these parties, definitely data is required. Without data, AI can't do anything. So that is the reason. So we need good skilled people who can pull the data from various data sources and process the data, clean the data, and load the data and send the data to different departments, which is nothing but an engineering, a data engineering. That's a data engineering where you build, where you split, and where you restructure it, and where you push it. We call in simple words ETL, extraction, transformation, loading. Yeah, ETL, extraction, transformation, loading. So we are going to understand from Vamshi. So typically what exactly is data engineering is all about, what are the real-time tools that are there in the market, and we are going to heavily focus on Azure. Azure is a cloud version from the Microsoft, and it's going to be number one cloud platform by 2026. And we are going to understand in real time. Vamshi is going to show us the real time, the Azure cloud platform, and we have the Databricks and the Delta Lakes and all the stuff. Very interesting points. And towards the end, we will see what kind of job opportunities exist in the market, and which you are going to conquer most of the data related jobs with the help of this training. Okay, I don't want to block most of your times, just much of your time, and handing over to Vamshi. Vamshi, thanks for accepting this invite. I know this is a festive season today in India and your Sunday evening, but you accepted my request for a free webinar. Thank you for joining.
All right. Thank you, sir. Fine. So, hello, guys. This is Vamshi here. And so, before we start with this ADE and, of course, Power BI kind of thing, so data analysis, of course, data engineering. So, we learn all these kind of things here in detail. And I'll give you some kind of practical implementation of how the process flows in real world scenarios. All right. So before this, let me tell you about myself. So I've been working for around 18 plus years of experience into this IT field here. And again, I'm having, I'm right now working as an AI research scientist at Microsoft here with over of more than 10 plus years into IT research here. So as part of my experience, I'll tell you how the things flows here and exactly what kind of, trends you have in this kind of beautiful field of data engineering and analytics. So let me not boast about myself. So we'll dive into the practical sessions now. So before this, let me tell you a few things about what exactly we'll be working here. Now, what we'll be discussing about this one. So Azure Data Engineer. So we'll discuss about things in practical rather than some kind of theoretical point of view here. So, for example, what is data engineering? So, what are the roles and responsibilities of a data engineer? And again, what exactly does a data engineer do in real world scenarios? So, if you take some kind of analytics, right? Analytics team, guys, please do not do this. So, it will be some kind of disturbance for everyone. Please, I request you, people. All right. Fine. So then we'll also try to understand the role and the importance of Azure Cloud here. And of course, I'll also give you the roadmap here. And also will show you the JD part of the job description here. So what they're asking you. So are we covering those enough things or not? I mean, I'll show you all these things in detail now. So let us dive into this one. Now, previously, for example, so like for example, if at all I tell you the definition about data engineering, right? So there are a lot of definitions in the market here, but again, let me tell you one practical example of this one. So data engineering refers to the building of systems to enable the collection and usage of data. This data is usually used to enable subsequent analysis and data science, which often involves machine learning. Making the data usable usually involves substantial compute and storage, as well as data processing and cleaning. Now, there are a lot of things that we focus in this particular definition, but if I take some kind of definition, right, there will be a lot of points here. I mean, okay. So, but let me put down these things in as simple ways as possible here. Now, what exactly is data engineering? In order to understand this one, right, you need to understand certain other things here. Let me show you now. So we'll give you some kind of things. Okay. So we'll let you know some kind of things in detail. And again, we'll do the practical part of this one. So how things work in real world scenarios here. In order to understand the data engineering process, right? First of all, you need to understand the process before to this one. So we had something called as data warehouse kind of concept here. Data warehouse architecture is something. In order to understand this one, right? Again, you need to understand something about the data part here. So what exactly is data? Now, today, if you look at, right, data, as per the data generation, data is classified into four different types. Normally, people call it as three different types here, but I say it as four different types here. So we have structured data, we have semi-structured data, and again, we have unstructured data, and then again, we have stream data, all right, which is also called real-time data. Real-time data. Fine. Now, what are these things here? Let us try to understand in detail about these things, and let us try to understand why we are discussing about all these kind of things here. So you people will understand in a few minutes here. Structured was unstructured kind of data. So we'll tell you something about the structure unstructured kind of formats here. Because see, now let me tell you guys, see, for any kind of insights that you dig from data, first of all, you need to have data, whether you want to do prediction, whether you want to classify something, or whether you want to find some kind of insights from the data, you want to apply some kind of statistical inferences from the data, or you want to train some kind of chat GPT kind of application, or you want to train your ML models or AI models, whatever it is. Let me tell you, data is essential here. Data is the real fuel here. All right. So because without data, right, we can't do anything here. Now let us try to understand from the very basic point of view. So why we need to focus on this one. So structured data was unstructured data. Now, primarily this kind of traditional data warehouse. So this is a three-tier data warehouse architecture. So before this cloud and again this data engineering process, right, we had this kind of architecture. I'll also tell you, I mean, okay, so within a few minutes, I'll tell you what exactly that one is. Now, something we'll understand about structured data and structured data. Structured data, as the name itself tells you, the data will be having some kind of predefined structure here. So for example, the data which is stored in a table format. So in a table format, data will be stored in a neatly defined rows and column format, right? So that is some kind of structure. It has some kind of structure there. So for example, again, if you take your spreadsheets like CSV or some kind of Excel file, you have the data which is stored in a structured format here. And again, so what kind of data you find here? So typically the data will be, I mean, something in the format of numbers or some kind of dates or some kind of, some kind of strings here. So for example, if you take some kind of transactions also, right? So those kind of items will be stored here in this kind of table here. All right. So this is structured data. And again, in order to deal or in order to play with this kind of data, we actually have some kind of tools for this one. So the simple kind of format is SQL. All right. As you people know SQL. So what we do, we try to query this particular data and we try to, like, for example, try to infer something out of that one. All right. So then let me tell you on the other hand, semi-structured data. Now, what is semi-structured data? Semi-structured data resembles something in the format of structured and unstructured kind of format. So for example, let us take the case of your web pages, XML, HTML, those kind of web pages, right? So those are perfect format of semi-structured data. And again, on the other hand, you have unstructured kind of data. So today the data generation is much into this kind of format here. So why? Let me tell you the reasons here. Now, unstructured data, the name itself tells you this data doesn't has any kind of structure here. All right. The data which doesn't has any kind of structure. Because see, the data generation is into different formats and again into different types here. What exactly? Let me tell you. For example, you search something over Google search, right? For example, so some kind of data is getting generated. You actually, purchase some kind of products through some kind of e-commerce apps or websites. So data is again getting generated. You book some kind of rides over Uber, Ola, so data is getting generated. And again, let me also tell you, you book some kind of food online, right? Okay, so Swiggy, Zomato, whatever it is. Okay, so again, data is getting generated there. Fine. So whatever food apps, you have it. All right. Again, let me tell you, again, the for example, now we have n number of messaging platforms here, whether it is Telegram, WhatsApp or any kind of things here. Okay, so where again you send some kind of messages to your near and dear ones here. So data is getting generated in unstructured kind of format here. And again, you play online games here, data is again getting generated here. You watch some kind of movies through some kind of apps here by, entering some of your information, again, data is getting generated. All right. So likewise, if you take, there are n number of examples where the data is getting generated in unstructured kind of format. And again, the latest kind of thing is IoT. So for example, you have your smart devices, right? Your smart watches, smart TV, smart refrigerators, and again, some other kind of smart devices where again the data is getting generated in unstructured kind of format here. And there is also some kind of new kind of data, so which we call it as a stream data, real-time data, which is a part of unstructured kind of data. Now, again, see what kind of type of data you see in this kind of format here. Apart from this format, right, the data belongs to all this kind of format only. For example, now, for example, see, even this notepad, a text file, we call it as a, so this is a perfect example of an unstructured kind of data. So because do you think it has any kind of structure? No, right? Again, your email data also, your messaging platform. So all these are the examples of unstructured kind of data only, guys. So today you see, we also have some kind of data in an image format, audio format, video kind of format. All right. So voice kind of processing kind of
Vamshi,
things.
Vamshi, sorry to just block you. Can you please little bit slow down? One or two students requesting a little bit slow down, please. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay. So likewise, the data is getting generated in different formats here and is getting, like for example, okay, so we have different kinds of data, different types of data. Now, all these kind of data, the challenging task here is how do you extract this kind of data and how do you even store this kind of data? Where do you store this kind of data? Now, normally in the on-premises kind of things here, it is not possible to maintain or to process all these kinds of data. Guys, please mute yourself. If you have any things, you can unmute and ask me. All right. So so we were discussing about these types, right? So data types here, different kinds of data. Now this is where you people are getting hired actually. Okay, so because data engineers are the persons who deal with this kind of formats of data. So they are the persons who actually deal with the real data here. All right, they work with the real data actually. All right, not even the data scientist or any AI people or any other kind of thing. So that is why this position is having a lot of trend across the globe here. All right. So it's not located to any particular kind of country or something. So the trend is across the globe, guys. Now, let me tell you some other kind of things here. So what exactly happens here? Okay. Now, as I told you, we need to understand something about the data warehousing architecture prior to this kind of data engineering kind of process, right? So now let me tell you something about this one. So this is a three-tier typical kind of data warehouse system here. So now in the left-hand section, you can see there are different kinds of data sources here. So as you can see, we have a lot of different kinds of data. For example, think of this as some kind of data which is in table format here. All right, SQL data. And again, this is some kind of CRM or ERP kind of systems here. And again, flat files in the sense, you can think of it as some kind of simple CSV or some kind of Excel files here. Yes, of course. So this is about data analyst and again data engineering also, guys. So everyone can, like for example, can join this one. Even for data analysts also, I mean, so it is important in order to know this kind of things here. Fine. So you'll try to understand. Okay, so what exactly this one is? Because see, this has lot of trending kind of thing here. Why you need to focus on this one? Let me also tell you the reasons here. All right. So normally what happens here is when you have this kind of data, right? For example, now normally what happens here is we extract some kind of data here. We again maintain the data and we integrate all such kind of data here in something called as data staging. All right. Or staging database also people call it as. Now the purpose of this staging area is to, perform some kind of data cleaning kind of operations and again data transformation kind of operations. So after performing this one, so what we do is we again load the data into this data warehouse. So this is some kind of final kind of repository where we store all the kind of data here. Then for end user kind of purposes, what we do here is we try to segregate the data into different kinds of data marts here. Data marts means those are subset to data warehouse here. In fact, those are also data warehouses. But again, the difference is it stores data of only one particular entity. For example, understand this data mart is containing information only about customer. This data mart contains some kind of product related information. So this data mart is containing some kind of sales related information. So likewise, so you can see there are different kinds of data marts we can have here. Now, for example, for end user kind of reporting and analysis, right? So what we do here is, so we try to go with some kind of BI tool kind of things here. Okay, so Tableau, Power BI or anything. And again, we perform some kind of end user kind of analysis here. So this is what an overall picture, goes on actually. So here in traditional data warehousing systems, right, we follow something called as the ETL process. All right. So which stands for extraction, transformation, sorry, transformation, and again loading. All right. Extraction, transformation, and loading. But again, let me tell you, this has some kind of disadvantages or some kind of limitations here. Now, what are the limitations? Let me tell you now. See, though you're able to extract the data from different kinds of data sources. Okay, so but again, let me tell you, now when you try to load the data into this data warehouse, right, it is again structured in nature here. And again, let me tell you, your this data warehousing system is capable of running only some kind of structured workloads. Structured means some kind of relational workloads here. So if I give any kind of different kinds of unstructured data, right, it fails here. All right, this architecture won't work out. And again, in order to perform any kind of advanced analytics on top of it, right, like machine learning or some other kind of things, right, it is not possible here. Fine. So this fails here. And again, the second part is, so what we do is, again, what are the kind of data volumes that it could able to handle is also very less here. Hardly TBs of data, not more than that one. All right. So again, what are the types of data that it could also handle is also very limited here. So for example, some simple structure kind of data, and again, simple kind of semi-structured kind of data like your CSV files, all right, Excel kind of files. So these are the things it could handle actually. Fine. Now, but again, let me tell you, now the modern day kind of data stack, if you look at, right, we have the data in this kind of format here. So for example, in real world, we have something kind of data. If it is stored in a file system kind of format, right, we have some kind of CSV data, some kind of JSON data, because now everywhere you see there is some kind of automation going on, right? Okay, so so JSON is used a lot. And again, we are also working in some kind of big data environments, right? So this kind of Parquet files are stored a lot actually. Apart from this one, we have the regular text files and again Excel kind of files here. Fine. Now again, if it is databases, again we have cloud databases also. Okay. So databases, we have both cloud and as well as on-premises kind of databases also. Cloud and on-premises. All right. Cloud and on-premises kind of things also. Again, APIs. So where we extract the data from some kind of web systems or some kind of apps or something. All right. Now, if you have these different kinds of data, right? The different kinds of unstructured kind of data or something, right? So do you think that the regular kind of data warehousing architecture would suffice your requirement here? Or will it solve your entire data related problems here? No, right? The answer is no. So what is the answer here? So the answer to this problem is to move to the concept of data lakes here. All right, data lakes. So let me also show you the concept here. So data warehouse was data lake here. So let us try to understand. Then we'll dive deep into the practicals here. Fine. So what happens in a data warehouse, as we have discussed here? So let me tell you here. So it is actually used for some kind of structured workloads here. And again, as I told you, it actually, holds only few amounts of data here. And again, it is relational in nature actually. No, but again, when we have this different forms of data, right? Different types of data. First of all, we need to have some kind of platform where I can, first of all, load this kind of data. All right. So, converting the data, processing that data is a different story. But again, first of all, I need to at least load this kind of data, right? Store this kind of data, right? So I need to have such kind of platform or repository here. Okay. So that is the concept we go with a data lake here. So data lake is best suitable, or it has been designed in such a way that it helps you to store the data in its native format. What do you mean by native format here? So for example, if I give you some kind of JSON file, right, you can still maintain it as a JSON file only. All right, no need to convert it into some kind of structured format, unlike we have been converting the data in this kind of format here. So when you try to load the data into this data warehouse, right, as I told you, again, it is structured in nature, but here it is not required here. The purpose is different here. So data lake helps you to store the data in a native format here. So JSON format, Parquet file, CSV file, Excel file, text file, I can store any kind of data, even image, audio, video kind of data also can store here. All right. And again, let me tell you, it can handle huge amounts of data because it has unlimited kind of storage capacities here. Because the reason is it is actually hosted on top of cloud kind of concept here. So data lakes, you can see it is actually stored on cloud only. So whether it is AWS, Amazon, for example, or Azure or GCP kind of things, or any other kind of cloud kind of formats, because it is purely cloud here. And data warehouse, if you look at, right, so it is on-premises kind of solution. So where we store the data in a physical service here. All right. And again, if you look at here, so there is no need of some kind of data modeling kind of things, or defining the data into some kind of relational kind of models here. All right. Because the very basic nature of your data lake is to help you to store the data as it is actually. Now, after this one, what you want to do, it's different thing here. So that is why in data engineering process, right, we actually deal with something called as ELT kind of process here. ELT kind of process. So extraction, loading, and transformation. Extraction, loading, and again transformation. All right, extraction, loading, and transformation kind of process here. Now, why we have in this way? So let me tell you. Now you need to understand a data engineer actually designs the concept of a data pipelines here. Data pipelines. Because data pipelines are some kind of data carriers, you can understand. Okay, so where a data engineer ingests all this kind of data. So typically in cloud systems, what happens is I'm speaking irrespective of any kind of cloud here. All right. So the data engineering process or the data analytics kind of process also deals in such way. Now, who's going to give them the data, guys? A data analyst or some kind of BI team or some kind of other teams. Who is going to give them the data? A data engineer will be giving them the data. So let me also show you this one. Now, for example, what happens typically in this kind of data engineering process, right? So, for example, I'll be having some kind of different kinds of data here in this way. So, I might be having some kind of SQL data, CSV data, JSON kind of data, Parquet, APIs, Excel. Okay, so likewise, I'll be having different types of data here, different formats of data. Now, what I do as a data engineer, so what you'll be doing in real world is you'll be ingesting all this kind of data into something called as a data pipeline here. All right, pipeline. Now, this is the very basic concept here actually. So where you will be creating or designing the concept of a data pipeline on cloud systems here. So the process of this pipeline is to help you to ingest different kinds of data into the cloud ecosystems here. And again, finally, where you maintain that kind of data, you maintain it in data lakes, as I told you, right? So this is the data lakes here. Fine. You maintain all this kind of data into a data lake kind of repository. So data lake is very huge. It has unlimited storage capacities because the reason is it is hosted on top of cloud here. So as I told you, it could be Azure, it could be AWS, anything here. Fine. Now, finally, what you do. So using the concept of some kind of, some kind of services, we have some kind of services on Azure. So like data factory and again a Databricks kind of concept here. So what we do is we process the data, we transform such kind of data using different methods here. So we involve Spark, Apache Spark, Python, and again, we also use some kind of ADF, that is data factory, in order to process and transform this data. And finally, share that data to multiple teams here. Because now traditionally, let me tell you, in the traditional systems, I mean, so this BI team or this data analyst, I mean, so they were getting the data, I mean, in a simple kind of format here. But again, let me tell you, today data generation is not only into some kind of CSV format, or let me also tell you, not huge amounts of data can be stored in a CSV kind of format here. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. So let me also tell you one thing. Now, what the amount of data that you could store in an Excel sheet, guys? Any idea? What is the amount here? The maximum data you could store in an Excel format here, hardly 1 million, right? Not more than that one. All right. So, but again, see, in a CSV file also, we can maintain not more than 1 million here. All right. So, but again, let me tell you, yes, 1 million. All right. But again, see, now we are working in big data environment today. So, for example, all the example that I've given you, right? Okay, so the CSV, JSON, Parquet, and some data generation into different kinds of formats, right? All those are perfect examples of some kind of big data environments here. All right. So let me tell you now, where do you store such huge amounts of data? So traditionally, maintaining the data in only one single format is also not possible, right? Okay. So data is also stored into different kinds of formats here. For example, if you take the case of big data environments, right? So where we use Parquet a lot, actually, Parquet kind of files a lot, and they store almost all, I mean, 10 to 30 times more than your normal CSV and Excel kind of formats here, the data volumes here. So that is why those kind of sources are heavily employed in this kind of analytics field here. Now, for example, if I give the same kind of file to a BI team or some kind of data scientist or even a data analyst, right? It can't work here actually. It doesn't work on those kind of formats here. So who is going to convert this kind of data? Who is going to process such kind of data? And again, who is going to share them this data is a data engineer actually. All right. So data engineer. I mean, okay. So he will be sharing this kind of data with multiple teams here. Now, typically in an analytics team, right? Okay. So we have all these kind of people here. All right, apart from the data engineer. Okay. So as I told you, the data engineer is the person who will be actually dealing with the real data here. All right, real data. That means he performs the data management kind of thing. He segregates some kind of data. He plays with actual the data. Okay, so he converts some kind of data. Okay, so finally he makes that data available to multiple other teams here. So that, for example, a BI team might be using that data finally in order to prepare some kind of end user kind of process here, reports, dashboards, everything. All right, so that I can share it to some kind of end user kind of things here. Now, on the other hand, a data scientist might be using that data. So in order to find out some kind of inferences from the data. Or an ML team might be using that kind of data in order to predict something or classify certain thing. Or an AI team might be using the data which has been given by the data engineers. Okay, so in order to train some kind of chatbot kind of application similar to ChatGPT or some other kind of AI models here. All right. Because data is very important, right? Even without training your chatbot, right? Okay, so can it answer anything? Now, for example, let us take the case of the chat kind of application, chatbots kind of application, whether it is Siri, Amazon, Alexa, or some other kind of thing. So do you think that it can give you the answer as it is? No. It has been trained on lots of data parameters here. Only then it could able to give you such kind of results, what you're asking it. All right. So all that reliable data will be actually be given by this data engineering kind of thing only. All right. Now let me put down all these things in a practical. Let me show you the practical part of it. So this is your Azure portal, guys. So we'll be working on Azure Cloud, and it is one of the trending kind of cloud here. And again, by 2026, it will even overtake AWS also. I'm not telling this one. So let me don't trust my words here. I'll also show you something here. See, this was actually published on Forbes. Okay, so now you people know Forbes, right? So why Microsoft Azure could take the cloud lead from Amazon AWS by 2026. So after they joined hands with OpenAI and after they rolled out some kind of chat GPT kind of product, so they have invested and they're focusing much onto this kind of AI part. I mean, the data analytics, data engineering, or some kind of data kind of part here. And again, they have the very best robust data robust kind of platform here. All right. And again, so even the other part is they have a cheaper solutions here compared to AWS and even GCP or some other kind of cloud also. And their market size is also very, very huge here. You know the market size of Microsoft, right? Fine. So all these are the perfect reasons here. And again, let me also tell you something. Now, if AWS is costing you $100 per kind, some kind of implementation, right? So Azure will charge you almost all 20 to $30 here. So that is also one of the effective kind of thing why organizations are preferring Azure over others here. All right. So this is one of the like for example Azure cloud kind of thing. So tomorrow I'll also help you in creating such kind of Azure portal or Azure kind of account here. So now I have some kind of data which is stored in some kind of storage kind of concepts here. We call it as storage containers or storage accounts also. Let me show you some kind of data. So I have this kind of data here. Let's say, for example, let me show you some kind of products.csv kind of thing here. So for example, I have this data here. So if you click on this preview, you can see something in this kind of format here. All right. No, okay. So it has some kind of columns here and almost all it has, okay. So some kind of data here. Fine. Now, for example, now what I want to do, so how this data engineers move this data and make the data available, let me also tell you. So they create the concept of a pipeline, as I told you. All right, so pipeline. Now, let me also show you. So this is some kind of data factory, some kind of service which helps you to create a data pipeline on Azure Cloud. So let me click on this ingest here. So you have something called as a copy data tool. So, I'll go with this one. So task cadence, I want to run this pipeline now. So let me create some kind of link services here. Okay, so now I have my data which is stored in this kind of format here. So you have different kinds of things here. Okay, so let me even show you that one. For example, see. So first of all, let me create some kind of link services here. Link services are nothing but these are the connectors. Okay, so which will help you to connect to different kinds of data sources so that you can pull the data, you can extract the data here. All right. So for example, from Azure platform itself, you can pull the data from other kind of Azure services here. Okay. And again, let me also show you the databases here. So you have databases even from AWS platform also. Amazon Redshift, Apache Impala, IBM DB2, Drill, Google Ads, HP Greenplum, Google BigQuery, HBase, Hive, IBM Informix, MariaDB, Microsoft Access, MySQL, Netezza, Oracle, Phoenix, Postgres, SQL, Presto, again, SAP kind of data bases here, and SQL Server. So this is, see, when you see this gear symbol, right? So you need to understand it as on-premises SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server. And again, Snowflake kind of platform, Spark, Sybase, Teradata, Vertica. All right. So these are the databases, okay. So again, file systems, you have support with all the modern kind of data lakes and again, file kind of sources here. Fine. Again, generic protocols, nothing but, so these will help you to connect to some kind of web sources to pull the data from some kind of different web kind of applications here. And again, NoSQL. So in data, big data, we have this NoSQL kind of formats, right? MongoDB, Cassandra, you have this one here. And again, if you look at the services and apps, right? So you can see there are different kinds of services here, app figures, Asana. Now this Asana will be used, mostly by project managers here in real world scenarios. Concur, Dataverse, Dynamics platform here. Microsoft, again, this is Microsoft platform only. And again, GitHub. So you people know GitHub, right? So it is one of the largest, open source kind of communities here. So where people share their kind of insights here. And again, Google Sheets, HubSpot, Jira, Magento, Marketo, SaaS kind of platform, Microsoft 365 Office Suite, Oracle, services here, PayPal, your currency kind of platform, online currency transfer kind of platforms here. And again, QuickBooks, QuickBase, SAP kind of sources, and again, Salesforce, CRM, and again, some kind of clouds here. Salesforce has different kinds of clouds here, marketing cloud, sales cloud, service cloud kind of things here. And again, ServiceNow, SharePoint, Shopify e-commerce portal, and again, Smartsheet, Square, TeamDesk, Twilio, Webtable, Zero, Zendesk, Zoho, Data.world. I hope some of you have not even heard about some kind of names also. So these are the kind of things we have. We can pull in data from different kinds of databases. And let me tell you, your ADF, that is where you build your data pipeline, right? It has support and it will even help you to connect almost all. It has more than 100 plus different kinds of connectors, guys. So where it can connect to different kinds of data sources and help you to pull the data here. All right. Now, so let me show you. Now, for example, so my data is stored in some kind of blob container here. So blob is some kind of storage which is into Azure cloud here. All right. So let me first go with blob. So I'm creating a connector, guys, here. All right. So let me show you. See, I'm actually trying to create this kind of connector. So I'll go with this one. And again, storage account name, I'll go with this one. And again, so let me test the connection. See, connection successful. So that means it has successfully established a connection to my source here. So then I'll also need to establish a connection to my target also, because see what I'm doing basically, I'll tell you now. My intention is to fine. So let me show you something. So for example, understand that I have some kind of data which is stored in a blob storage. So this blob storage is part of Azure cloud only. All right. Now, through the concept of this Azure Data Factory pipeline, right, I'll be moving this data to some other kind of target system here. It could be data lake, it could be SQL database, or it could be any other kind of application also. All right. So now what I've done is, so I've created some kind of link service, right? So connector. So basically I have to establish a connection to my source here so that I can pull this kind of data. I can extract this kind of data. So I have successfully established this connection. Now, in order to load the data into this target systems, right, I also have to connect this particular target also, right? That means I also need to establish a connection to my target as well. So let me also do that one. So for example, I want to load this data into data lake environment. So data lake is the primary storage of any kind of cloud systems here. So I will be loading the data into this data lake here. So for example, I'll give some kind of name in this way. So then let me show you something. See, forget about all these steps here. So, anyways, we'll also learn all these steps once you join this kind of thing here. But again, let me tell you how things work in real world scenarios. So, connection successful. That means, again, we have successfully connected or established a connection to our target system also. That means this particular system also where I want to load this data. So here I want to load this data into a data lake here. Now, what we require here? We require some kind of pipeline here. So let me go here. So again, what I'll do, let me click on next here. Now, what is my source here? So it is Azure Blob Storage. And again, so what is the connector? We've already created a connector, right? So let me point out to this. Let me select this connector. And again, so once I select this connector, right? So it asks me to select the particular file here. So which I want to move. So this is my container. So where the data is actually located. So this particular file, I would just want to move here. Products.csv. I just want to load this products.csv into my data lake environment. So let me click OK. And again, so after this, again, I'll click next here. So it will automatically try to read the settings of that particular file here. So what kind of file it is. And again, it will also show you the data also. See, it is trying to read the settings here. See, it is comma delimiter here. It is a delimited text here. I haven't created any kind of options, right? It has automatically given me this one. All right. Again, you can even preview the data from here as well. So if I click one here, right? So you can see this data here. You can see the entire thing. This is the schema. This is the data. All right. Then, so now we have successfully connected to source here. Okay. Now let us do the destination here. So destination is you want to load this into data lake environment. So Azure Data Lake Storage. So I'll go with the connector which we have created here. Then it will ask me to load it somewhere. I'll load it into my data lake container. So this is my container. Presently it is empty, guys. So I'll be loading the data into this one. All right. So then again, click next here. All right. So again, click next here. Now let me rename my pipeline. So I want to give some kind of name to my pipeline. So I'll give in this way, copy products data. Click next here. So it shows you some kind of information in this way that you're copying the data from Azure Blob Storage to Azure Data Lake Storage into. All right. So now let me click next here. See, it will automatically start the validation kind of process. It will perform the job for you. Just you have to provide these connections here. So as you can see, the deployment is complete here. So it has successfully created this data sets, pipelines and everything. It has successfully moved this one. And in order to monitor this one, right? So there is some kind of option here. So you can go and check here. So let me go to the triggered kind of thing. See, it is successful here. So you can even refresh from here. Successful means that means you need to understand the pipeline has successfully copied the data from blob to data lake storage. To verify that one, right? Let me show you. So this is my data lake storage here. All right. So this is my data lake storage. Now inside this data lake storage, again, I'll be having the concept of this container. So which is container, you can understand it is some kind of storage kind of thing. All right. So if I open this one, right? See, I have the data here, products.csv. Now again, if in order to look at the data, you can click on that file, you can click on edit, and again, you can see the data, right? So this is how the data will be copied from one kind of source to another kind of destination here on Azure. All right, so it is very simple process and again, yet powerful kind of solution. So which will help you to perform any kind of thing. And let me tell you the best part of this one, right? So you could maintain any kind of data. Okay, so you could also upload some kind of data. Let me also show you. So I'm uploading the data from my local file system here. So for example, this is JSON kind of file. And again, let's say, for example, I have text CEOs here. Okay, so I have some other kind of things here. Okay, so Parquet file also I have. All right. So look at this. See, it can help you load different kinds of data, store and maintain different kinds of data. So your traditional data warehouse systems, can it load all this kind of data? No, right? So that is the limitation we have there. All right. So that is why we go with this kind of process here, the data engineering kind of process here. Because see, now the data is coming in different kinds of formats here. No longer the data is only served in CSV kind of format or a table kind of format. So what if it is stored in some kind of big data format like your Parquet kind of file? Parquet kind of file, or let's say, for example, some kind of JSON kind of file, which is into some kind of automation systems or something. All right. So you need to also process this kind of data also, right? So this is the solution for it. So first of all, the data will be moved to this kind of things here. Now, let me also show you how the data analyst will actually, be helpful with this kind of things here. So once the data is moved here, right? So what can they do is, so for example, they can connect to this one. I'll also show you. So I have something called as Power BI here. So let me open this. So Power BI is again some kind of, data visualization, or you can think it as some kind of data, business intelligence kind of tool from Microsoft again. It has even some kind of cloud kind of concept also. So again, let me show you how you can connect to this kind of data here. And it has some kind of AI feature also I'll show you. So for example, you can connect to this one. So you have this get data kind of option where again, you can get the data similar to Azure kind of thing. For example, let me also categorize you here. So for example, if it is file systems, right? See, you have Excel, you have test and CSV, you have XML, JSON, again PDF, Parquet, and SharePoint. On Azure, we had more than this one, right? In file formats, all the data lake kind of formats, and again, all the different kinds of file formats also we were having. And again, traditional, if you look at the databases, right? So you have support with almost all different kinds of databases where Azure supports here. And again, Microsoft Fabric here. So which is the latest kind of product from Microsoft again. Okay. So Power Platform. All right. So this is again some other kind of platform here. Okay. So Power Platform, Azure. So again, you can pull in the data from here. All right. So now I told you, right? Azure Data Lake Storage Gen tool. So you can even connect to this one. Online services. All right. Again, you can see different kinds of services here from where you can pull in the data or connect to this kind of data. So let me also tell you, you might have not even heard about this kind of things also, some of the kind of products here. So you can even pull the data from this different kinds of system. That is why Power BI is a trending kind of data analytics tool. And again, Azure is the leading kind of cloud today in the market here. All right. So that is why you can find a lot of trend on this particular tools here, and again, a lot of jobs onto this kind of tools also. And again, it is very simple and again, easier to, learn and understand this kind of tools here. So let me also show you. Now, for example, in order to, pull the same kind of data, right? For example, let me go here. So let me connect to this text and CSV kind of format. So for example, I'll connect to this one. And again, so I have this kind of data, which is stored in this data sources. So let me connect to this office supplies here. All right. So this is the data actually. Fine. Now load data. All right. So it is loading the data into this Power BI ecosystem here. Now from here, for example, in case if at all you want to play with the data in the sense you want to perform some kind of transformation process on the data. So then this is where you go with this data, transform data. Okay. If you click here again, it will open some kind of Power Query editor where you can play with some kind of data. All right, you can remove some kind of columns. You can add some kind of calculated columns also. You can create some kind of columns. So we're using existing columns in the data, and you can update some kind of data values, or you can remove some kind of missing values or duplicates here. Okay, so you can find all the things here. You have all of the options here where you can perform everything here. All right. So once it is done, right, finally what you could do, so it will just look like something in this way in the data panes here. So if I click here, again, see, you have some other kind of data here. For example, that means these are the columns here. Now, what are the, this kind of sum symbol you're seeing, right? Okay, so these are nothing but some kind of numerical columns here. So if you have this symbol, those are actually categorized as numerical columns here. So Power BI also lets you, categorize the columns in this way. Now here you have different chart types here. For example, now, as I told you, right? Okay, so Power BI also has some kind of AI feature, artificial intelligence kind of feature, just similar to some kind of chat GPT kind of application. So, for example, I will ask it some kind of question. It will throw me the answer in report format. Let me show you that. So, this is some kind of Q&A kind of feature. So, let me expand this one. All right. So, for example, I want to see unit price for all regions here. Okay. So, unit price by region. All right. If I click enter, right? So it will prepare some kind of chart for me. See, have I done this, anyone? No, right? Have I done this bar chart? No, right? So it is automatically giving me this one. See, okay. All right. So number of units by region here. Okay. So for example, if I again type here, see, it will give me some kind of things in this way. You can even hover your mouse onto this one here. Okay. So it will tell you the region part. So that is central. And again, sum of units is 4903. So this is for central region. And again, similarly, you have east region here. So east, so 865 units are being sold here. And again, in the west kind of region, so totally 408 units have been sold here. So you can look at it in this way, or practical if at all you want, right? Even you can perform your own kind of charts also. For example, let me go with some kind of bar chart here. Or for example, I want to go in this way. See, it is automatically giving me in this way. Or let me, for example, let us go with this one, donut chart or pie chart here. Okay. So for example, donut chart here. Now, for this one, I need to add some kind of things here. So for example, I'll go with item and I'll go with units here. See. Okay, so automatically it is giving me some kind of chart type here. It is very simple to process this one. So for example, now pencil. Now previously, before this Power BI or this Tableau kind of things, so this AI features came into the picture, right? Okay, before this one, we didn't have this kind of features here. So it took us long time, very longer time to process this kind of data. Even in order to show the data in this way, right? I had to process, I have to perform some kind of dimensional modeling on the data. Again, I have to create some kind of tables for it called as dimension tables, fact tables, everything. Okay, so I have to connect to that one. Again, I have to pull the data here. Okay, so likewise, I have to perform such kind of data analysis here. But now you see the data analysis got very, very simpler here because of this AI kind of features here. All right. So I haven't done anything, right? I've just selected some kind of chart type here and automatically it is giving me some kind of data here. For example, if you hover your mouse onto this one, right? So it is what kind of item it is? It is binder. And what kind of item it is here? So it is pencil. So total units sold is 2130. That will see it is even showing you some kind of percentage kind of things also. Out of 100 percentage, 34.49 percentage accounts to pencil kind of items only. And again, if you hover here, so binders, it is almost all 30.57 point of percentage here. And again, what is this one? It is pen. So again, this is pen set here. And again, what is this product here? It is desk here. So likewise, what you can do, you can perform different kinds of analysis here by going to this kind of, visualization types here, chart types here. Okay. So you can even ask in using some kind of AI feature also, just like I've shown you. All right. So this is called as some kind of charts here. So this is called as some kind of report here. Okay, so some report. Now, collection of these kind of reports, we call it as a dashboard here. So which we'll look at in a later part here. So likewise, you can perform some simple analysis here using this kind of modern AI kind of tools, which are embedded into this kind of Power BI, Microsoft Fabric kind of platform and Microsoft Azure kind of ecosystem here. Now see how much time we are able to save, and again, how much very quickly and easierly, I mean, we are able to process the data here. Fine. So in the traditional kind of systems, I mean, so it was some kind of tedious task and like for example, Haddock kind of process. I mean, okay. So where we have to do everything manually, and again, if something goes wrong, again, our analysis would go wrong here. Okay. So with this kind of AI kind of features here, now things got very simpler. And again, so you can gain much kind of insights from the data within minutes here. So within no time, you can create some kind of report here. All right. So this is how we actually move the data. Now you also looked at how to move the data by using some kind of pipeline, right? So we have designed some kind of pipeline here. Okay. So I've shown you how to move the data from some kind of source to some kind of target here. Fine. Using the concept of a data pipeline here. So this is my pipeline here. All right. So once the pipeline is done, again, you can move the data, you can connect it to Power BI, and again, you can view the data here in this step. So what I mean to tell you now is, see, this data engineering kind of things, and again, all this kind of analysis, I mean, everything depends upon the data. So you also, I mean, if you learn this data engineering kind of concepts again, and plus, again, let me tell you, we're also launching the course in such a way that we are also giving all this kind of combo kind of things here. Not only data engineering, data analysis part also we are adding here for the very first time. Okay, so in this kind of course here. So where we'll be teaching you some kind of Power BI and again some kind of how to process the data using Python or some kind of PySpark. Okay, so using Databricks also. I mean, we'll look at all these kind of things here. And again, you can see so within no minutes, I've shown you some kind of chart types here. So where you can process any kind of data. Okay, so any kind of file kind of data. So hope you people have understood, right? So any questions, guys, on this one?
This is express view of overview of these things, but don't get scared, my dear students. All of you, I mean, whoever is interested to
So again, let
register
me tell
for
you
the
guys,
detailed
as
training.
part of this one, right? So, okay, sorry. I think
Vamshi, please go ahead.
Fabric Analytics. And again, so we have also adding Power BI to this one also, the data analysis part for data analyst. So you can get a complete end-to-end kind of data stack kind of solutions here. So you can end-to-end data professional kind of thing you can become, I mean. So by using this kind of product suite here. So we'll be learning the concepts of this data, engineering kind of thing. And again, the fabric analytics part where you will be dealing with this AI kind of things here. And of course, the Power BI part also. So if you look at the, real-time analytics, right? Okay, so real-time projects, okay, so we have, see, so we have something called as, data migration, data ingestion kind of things. Data warehousing. Okay, so Power BI also, how to analyze the data with Power BI in Fabric here. Okay. And I've shown you, right, how to analyze the data here. So that is one kind of step here. So likewise, we can do some multiple things also, how to process the data into this kind of things here. And finally, let me also tell you, we have a lot of, a lot of our students also got placed, from last year, almost all, let me tell you, 31 students, almost all, 31 students have been placed in different regions here, not just in India or US here. We have students from Australia, the Middle East, and again, the Europe kind of things also, where, people are doing their jobs here. All right. So, if you look at the post-course kind of services, right? So we have some kind of services for you people. Azure Ops team, let me tell you, see, Azure operations in the sense, Satish, let me tell you, that is where the code will be deployed in different kinds of repositories here. The code will be moved from one particular teams here. Okay, so for example, we have dev team, we have testing team, we have some kind of production team, right? So Azure operations comes into those kind of areas here. All right. But again, see, when you move the data to production, right? Okay, so there the data analyst won't be performing anything, right? So before that only, you will be creating all this kind of pipelines. And again, the data analysis part again, after that one, the code will be moved to production here. Fine. So those are those kind of operations here. But again, data analyst and again, data engineering, all these kind of people are essentially required here. Now, because see, the end users can understand the data in a report kind of format only, right? So the data analysts are essentially required here. So that is why if you go with this kind of course, right, the data engineering plus some kind of data analytics, right, it will give you much edge over others actually. So because you will be having some kind of multi environment kind of product suite in your resume or your CV. All right. So post.
Azure Data Engineering.
Hello, Vamshi. Vamshi, are you with us?
Guys, I'm sorry. So it's an unexpected network issue. Fine. So again, so how you need to project yourself, I mean, like what kind of things or what kind of portfolio you need to prepare. So whether it is in your CV or resume, what kind of projects you need to prepare and put up or showcase there. And again, so today the hiring managers are not just relying on the traditional job portals here. Okay, so LinkedIn is also playing a vital role. So we'll also help you in optimizing your LinkedIn profile also, so that you get more number of calls and
Vamshi, I think there is bit of network issue at your end right now.
scenarios that we'll
We
be
can't.
working on, and again, the kind of projects that you'll be doing here. All right. See, background in the sense, let me tell you, it is SQL that is required here because, anyways, the Python part and the Apache Spark kind of part we'll be discussing in the the course itself. So we'll be learning that one. So SQL, but yes, here we are also giving you SQL part initially. Okay, so we'll also be learning SQL here. So even if you do not know SQL, nothing to worry. So we'll be learning this one in the sessions here. So what is the duration of this training? 45 days to 60 days here. That means 2 months approximately. So 1.5 months to 2 months here. So do we need to pay for Azure services ourselves or does the course provide access credits here? No, Joy. Let me tell you, I'll help you create an Azure account here. No need to pay anything here. So it is a free kind of account. So where you will be given $200 of free credits, and those credits you can use it to, practice and again play with the services here, Azure services. All right. Again, so any other questions, guys? Yes, of course, I'll give you data, right? I'll lots of data is there. I'll give you plenty of data. How much you want? Would we be learning Python related to data engineering? Yes, of course, Varun, we'll be learning Python and Apache Spark also. So those are mandatory as part of a course. And as I told you, SQL also, because some of you people do not know SQL also, right? Okay, so we'll be also starting off with SQL here. SQL and again Python, Apache Spark. And again, as I told you, we have also introduced data analytics also into this one. So where we'll be learning the Power BI kind of things also. So you'll be, a complete full stack data professional, you can call it as. Because see,
Yep.
right from the data extraction, right, that is the data engineering kind of practices to again, like for example, processing the data in real time using some kind of BI tools like Power BI, that is the analytics part. You're playing with all the different kinds of environments here, the different kinds of real time kind of projects here. So that will give you much advantage over others here. All right. So can you give me an example of how the requirement will be in everyday job? Requirement means like say, for example, now sometimes we'll be having the requirement to perform some kind of pipelines here, create some kind of pipeline. So you need to load the data first of all. Then once the data is loaded into some kind of area, right? Like say, for example, data lake or SQL database or whatever it is, then you might be asked to process that such kind of data here, perform transformation part here. So transformation part using data factory, you might also be given some kind of job to visualize some kind of data here. So using Power BI. So these three requirements you'll be getting. Fine. See, in the initial part, you'll be asked to create the pipeline so that the data could be extracted and load somewhere here. Fine. So likewise, you might get any of these kind of requirements here. So once you know the complete end-to-end kind of thing, right, you can gain advantage here.
Anyone having
All
any
right. So,
final questions? Hope all of you enjoyed today's session about the free webinar. Thank you very much, Vamshi. Team, the new batch is starting from 3rd of April, and it's a very good combination. In fact, deadly combination where you are going to understand the data analysis along with the full data engineering part. So end-to-end stack of the data, which is really high in demand, the cloud, the latest cloud, all the data bricks and everything. And you're going to learn the Power BI, you're going to learn Python and Spark. And another good thing about our programs is you can join multiple times till you become confident. There won't be any extra charges. So that's a wonderful support that you're going to get. And the payments can be made in 2 installments. Just reach me. We are here to support you until you excel, until you excel. Okay, one-to-one interview guidance, whatnot. You just ask for it, you name it, you get it. Any final questions before I stop the recording? Anyone? Please feel free to ask. Vamshi is here. I'm here. I assume silence as everyone is good. Final check.
Hello. Hi. Hi.
Yes. Hi,
Yeah,
Sai.
hi.
Actually,
Yes,
we
Sai.
have already used our Azure credits. So any kind of lab can be provided.
Okay, Sai, let me tell you, you can create another account with some other kind of email or some other kind of mobile number, something, if you want
Mm-hmm.
free trial. Otherwise, you can convert your existing account to pay-as-you-go kind of model, but I would not recommend it. So you can create another account here.
Okay.
Pay as you go is going to
Okay.
be very expensive. Sometimes if you forget to shut down the resource, it will just generate a lot of bill.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, from your side or from our side, it will generate huge amount, but without our knowledge. So it's unnecessary waste. Yeah, maybe you can use your family member mobile number and then the different email ID, and then you can use it. You will get another $200 credit side.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. What will be the timings of the class? So we are going to decide, Swaran. So if Swaran, you're from India, mostly it will be your evening time. I think 4 o'clock to 5:30. That's what it will be early in the morning in USA. That's what we're thinking. Uh, right. How much do you say cost of the program? Akudo, the cost is 500 US dollar. Akudo. Yeah. Oh, Swaran. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Swaran. So mostly, okay, Swaran, it will be early in the morning or your evening time, either one. So I'm just going to decide based on the number of students. If I'm getting more registrations from US, we prefer US friendly time. It may be in the evening time or early in the morning, 5:30 to 5:30 to 7 o'clock in the morning, something like that. So Kenny, yeah, data analysis also will be covered, Kenny, and like
Yes,
the Vamshi
Kenny.
has shared.
Yes,
Go ahead,
Kenny. So
Vamshi.
data analysis will also be taught in this session. Okay, so we'll be having Power BI. So where I'll teach you the data analysis part using Power BI. So that is what the combo kind of course we're giving you for this first time actually. So we're launching this course. Okay, so you can get the complete end-to-end kind of data stack kind of solution here. Yes, of course, data engineering and data analyst
Both.
and cloud also. Yes,
It's
for
both.
all these things
Earlier
here.
it was separate. Yeah. Earlier it was like a separate, but now we merged both.
So once again, I request all of you people to connect on 3rd of this month here. So we'll be having some other hands-on on some kind of things I'll show you on that day. And again, we'll also look at some other kind of course details here.
Yes. Swaran is asking any do not have any engineering background, data engineering background, not required, Swaran. We are going to teach everything from the basics. Vamshi is going to teach as if he's teaching to a very layman pen because we do get students who are even from the non-IT background as well. So we need to take everyone into consideration. So he's going to teach everything. Whatever Python is required for the data engineer, you are going to learn that one practical. SQL, practical. So step by steps. When can we expect the class? Yeah, either it's going to be 6:30 in the morning, Sai, or it's going to be your time in the evening, India time, Sai. It's going to be 4 o'clock to 5:30. So your India time 4 o'clock to 5:30 is USA time early in the morning, like 5:30 to 7 o'clock, and that's going to be in Australia time. It is going to be in the evening, like 8:30 to 10 o'clock. Okay, perfect. And each class will be recorded, materials will be shared, a lot of things, a lot of resources will be available
Yes,
for you.
Stephen. So we'll be starting off with SQL. Okay, so I'll teach you SQL and again Python as well as Apache Spark also. All right, so nothing to
Yes.
worry. So I mean, we'll start with SQL, every one of. And how long it will take? Let me tell you, it is for courses for 45 days to 2 months here,
Yep.
and it will span from Monday to Friday every week.
Perfect. All right, team. I will be sharing this today's session recording also with all of you so that you can rewatch it. Vamshi was bit rushing. Just he want to cover a lot of topics in the short amount of 1 hour of time, just to get a feeler. So, but during the class, it's going to be slow, and then he's going to teach every topic very much in detail. Any final questions? Are we good? Will you let us know about the class timings today? Maybe by tomorrow, Swaran. Mostly by tomorrow, we should be good. All right. Harini, you have question? Okay. So you can apply for, yeah, we can apply for the data analyst, data engineer, Azure data engineer, all these kind of job roles. You can apply, Joy. Good, good. Any more questions? How many hours a day? Mostly like 1 hour 30 minutes. Question and answers. So 1 hour 30 minutes you can reserve it Monday to Friday, and for 2 months. No problem at all. Once again, thank you very much for your wonderful time and participation. Hope you got real value. Oh, just last final question. Hope you got your value add for your valuable time that you spent here. How long it's going to take to learn and become a good data analyst? After this learning, will I be able to secure a remote job? So yes, and not kind of a no. So nowadays, companies are asking to come to on-site. It can be on-site or hybrid, and you can try. So we need to try all options. So whatever comes on our way, try to grab it, Stephen. Getting into the game, getting into the market is very, very important, because market is a bit uncertain, especially in USA at the moment. So getting into the market, it should be your prime target goal. And after that, you can start. Once you gain the experience, you can play around. Okay, Stephen. Good. Thank you. All right, team. Thank you once again. See you in 2 days of time. So please reach me for any kind of questions, support you need. I'm there. You have my WhatsApp number. I'm texting you again. +6141251636 is my WhatsApp number. And I don't change my numbers. Okay, you can just type my number on the Google. It speaks a lot. Thank you again, my dear students. Bye bye. Stopping the recording.